And then there's the albatross that we wear every single day, which is Iraq. Now, I don't have a complicated view about this. America needs to be leaving Iraq. This is very, very simple. And I want to follow up on something that Carl spoke about and Debbie spoke about just a minute ago, and Bart spoke about, which is the Congress, elections have consequences. We won in 2006. There's a reason we won. The American people did not want to continue on the course that we're on in Iraq. They wanted to see a different course. So the Congress, led by the Democrats, led by Carl Levin and Debbie, the Congress did what the American people asked them to do. They used their funding authority. They sent a bill to the president. They're sending a bill to the president, funding the troops, making sure they get the support they need, and laying out a timetable for withdrawal. That is exactly what the American people called for in this last election. And I want to be very clear about something, because you can see right now where this is headed, listening to the Bush rhetoric. You know, by the way, and Carl knows this well, this is not the first surge that George Bush has had. We've had multiple surges. None of them worked. Listen, when the Iraqi parliament is attacked inside the green zone in Baghdad, the surge is not working. But I want to say something very clearly. This bill is going to be submitted to the President of the United States for his signature. If George Bush vetoes this bill, it is George Bush who's not funding the troops, not the Democratic leadership in the Congress. And we need to stand strong and firm, absolutely clearly. Bart mentioned this. I voted for this war, and I was wrong to vote for this war. And unfortunately, I have to live with that. You had two great senators who voted against the war. They cast the right vote. I cast the wrong vote. But America has got to be leaving Iraq. And we need to be, besides an orderly transition out of Iraq, which is exactly what the Democrats in the Congress have called for, we need to engage the Iranians and the Syrians directly into helping stabilize Iraq. We know what needs to be done. Both those countries have an interest in a stable Iraq. They don't want refugees coming across their border. They don't want economic instability. If you're Iran, the last thing you want is a broader Middle East conflict between Shia and Sunni. Iran is a Shia country in a Sunni-dominated Muslim world. The last thing they want is a broader Middle East conflict. But it is really important for us to understand that while Iraq is enormously important, because men and women have died and are dying there today, because we're now at $500 billion and counting in Iraq, that Iraq is important, but we have to, because we're going to be leading this country, we have to understand that Iraq is a part of the bigger puzzle, which is how America over the long term can lead. How can we be an example for the rest of the world, that the rest of the world wants to follow, that the rest of the world looks up to and respects? And it's not just what we do over there. It's not just Iraq. It's not just what we do in Africa and the Muslim world and Latin America. It's also what we do here. We live in a country that is 4% of the world's population, emitting 25% of the world's greenhouse gases. We are a terrible example for the rest of the world. How in the world can we go with any credibility to China and India, the developing world, and say, join us, help us in fashioning a global solution to a crisis? This climate change, global warming issue, this is not something for the future. This is a crisis today. If you read the Pentagon's report on what happens, if the temperature on the face of this earth goes up 3 to 8 degrees over the next 75 years, migration of millions of people, extraordinary political upheaval, not enough food, not enough water. America has to lead, and we have to clean up our house first. We have to demonstrate that we understand our responsibility to ourselves and to the rest of the world.